Okay, welcome again to the short video here. I'm Brad, Crane and Train Guy. Welcome back. We are going to go over the last few details, which isn't much. That was in the previous video. So if you need to go back, there's a link for that. But anyways, I'm down to where I'm feeling good about it, where I'm pretty, okay. I'm okay with it. So let's now start getting electrical on it. Okay, so with that, I'm going to start showing some stuff and how to actually start getting like what needs to happen. We will then actually start wiring this thing up. So with that, the tools that you're going to need, obviously, some battery boxes. Okay, a couple different examples. This one is the Lego one, obviously. You can do whatever Lego one you want. Power function is what I got. I used the BuWiz, which has the same connection as the power up or power functions. Or you can do some simple batteries. These are the little 3-volt little circle batteries that fit in here. Those work, but you need a battery box. You need a wire, okay, like this. The nice thing is if you get extension wire that's got the same ends on it, you can use both ends. Basically, you cut that in half. Everybody look away for a second. Okay, so that way you've got two lights, okay, two connections. You're gonna need some pliers, obviously. You need some tweezers. When you're soldering, you need some cool clamps, so that way you can hold things right together. Extra wire. Lights. You're gonna have whatever lights you want. These are the 3mm. I got mini ones. Now, when you buy your lights, I get all my stuff off of Amazon. So when you buy them, okay, you have to look at what the power rating is. For example, these ones right here, they're the mini ones. They only go up to 3 amps, 3 watts, however that goes, volts, up to 3 volts. So if you want to use these with 9-volt, you have to have a resistor in between. So it goes like that, to resistor to lights, okay? Not a big deal. You need soldering gun. You need flux and your soldering paste, okay? Pliers, a couple different varieties of them. Extra clamps if you need them. You need a voltmeter, okay? So that way you can look at it and see what your polarity is, whether it's positive or negative. Okay, let's get into this really fast here. So when you cut one of these, the wires that you're using are the outside ones. There's 4 wires. Doing this really fast here. Separate them out. Not sure if you can see that, but there's 4 wires. I cut the 2 ones out because those are the ones I need. Those ones you do not use. So you can terminate those. I like to, when I terminate them, is actually cut in different lengths. So that way for sure, I'll show you this, so that way for sure, they can't touch while they're, in your model. So that one's already cut that length. This one I'll cut to that length. So they're different. Okay. Then I will trim or cut back the insulation on your wires. Like so. Connect that to your battery box. Okay. I believe, make a guess here, this is your positive. I'm going to hold that one there. This is the nice part with these little clamps. I'm going to use 3 volts right now. This is just a white light. Very trimmed on the end. I'm going to hold this together like so. Before I do that, let's make sure that that is actually positive. Turn your voltmeter to DC. Turn on your battery. Red over there, black over here. That's 9 volt. You see there's no negative. If I go backwards, it actually says negative. See that? Negative. So I picked the right one. That's positive. Okay. So you make these two touch like so. Grab your negative, put it over here. I always like to test. Flip your light on, touch your negative, your light comes on. Boom. Okay. So for soldering, I like to grab some shrink wrap. This is just the 16th, also Amazon. It comes in a lot of different sizes. 16th works. Got a little piece off. Got 2 of them actually. One for positive, one for negative. Make sure you put your shrink wrap on first. On both of them. You don't forget. Put the positive back up here. So. Get them as close as you can to each other. Touching. All in line. Okay. Okay. So, get your soldering gun. Get a little flux. Don't need very much. Put it on your wires. Like so. Grab your flux. Not a flux capacitor, just saying, just flux. And then you just warm it up like so. You see the flux melt. A little bit of flux on there. Like that. It only takes a second or two for it to cool. And then you go to the next one. Those in your little helping hands. Line everything back up again. That way they touch nice. Okay. Do the next side. Now you might be a little worried about, like, you don't understand the melting, how hard it is. I don't do this for a living. So if I can do it, you can do it. It's that simple. If you mess up, you heat it up, it comes right apart. So play with this, okay? And this is the easy part where I'm just showing you how it works outside of a build. It's when you start having Lego pieces on top of it and you're trying to build this inside of the model. That's the hard part. Okay. So once everything's together, I like to make sure that it's nice. I pull on it, make sure it's, there. Then I like to put my heat shrink tubing back over everything. Like so. Then I'll grab my little heat gun. which you can use, you know, matches, whatever, and you melt that on there so that way it can't go anywhere. Okay, so that is your connection. So when you turn on power, whichever way it goes, you've got a light. The same exact thing with doing the micros, other than you have to put a resistor in between. So I will just show you how to do one of those really super fast. Same exact thing though. Okay, so back to this where it's positive again. We're going to grab one of these. Make sure this is positive by all means. Turn that back on. Turn your power back on. Make sure that's positive. Yes, it is. Okay. Once again, if you go this way, you get that negative on your screen. Okay. So with that, we connect. I know this is a little rudimentary here, but we're going to connect this. This just gives you an idea. And you can trim these wires on the ends. Get this whatever length you want. They just give you a lot of wire. So I'm just going to hold on to that on one side like so, and make sure that when you do this test that your little helper hand's not on this side, because then you got the full 9 volts going all the way around, not going through the resistor. You can even put it on this side if you want, so that way you make sure the resistor is there and protecting that LED. Okay, so that, get the wires off the plastic off the end of this wire. I believe the longer one's positive from what I can remember. Now we should be able to touch this wire on there and see that light up. Light that light up. Yep. So now it comes to same thing. You solder this there, solder this there, that there, and make sure you put the heat shrink tubing over that. Now, you can put more than one light on each one of these examples. When you do it this way, this light needs to be after the resistor. You put as many of those as you want after the resistor. Now, if you put one of these that is made for 9 volt after the resistor, it won't work. So it needs to be before the resistor. Because you can even wire this here and then one of those afterwards. So your main line that comes off, your batteries can run tons of these LEDs. Well, not tons, but at least, 10, 12, something like that. So you can have the bigger ones before that takes the more voltage, the littler ones, the less voltage after that. So that is how you do electrical. So from there, all this stuff goes into that train. So that's the next video. Thank you for watching.